gosh, you get addicted to the adrenaline rush, I think.
You're definitely on the edge of your seat. You know, we'll probably hit at times out there 230, 240k an hour.
Yeah, always learning things and it's always a challenge.
We do it, we love it, and we're here. So yeah, give it another shot.
Looking forward to it. Obviously, first round at St George. We're going to try and give it a good shake. There's some good competition here, but yeah, hopefully we'll be thereabouts.
We've been racing for about a year. We started last year, Dan used to drive. This year we've made a switch and I've gone from the navigator seat to the driver's seat. There's going to be a lot of cars out there, a lot of faster cars, so I'm not sure how that'll go. It's going to be very dusty.
Dust is going to be fairly horrendous this weekend, which we can't do nothing about that. It's pretty well dry all over Australia at the minute, so hopefully we can get a good prologue and a good starting spot for the weekend.
I've been the class champion and I've now been the national champion. I think we could probably pretty much attack it really because we've got nothing to lose now. We're number one and see how we go.
This year, take it easy on the jumps till I know them a little better. The suspension tune is a lot better and take it a little bit easy until I get into the groove.
Our main aim is to get through the weekend, go fast enough to have a heap of fun and be sensible enough to bring it to the finish.
I think it's fair to say it's probably an addiction, like a lot of the people in the sport will tell you as well.
Hello and welcome to Off-Road HQ for round one of the BF Goodrich CAMS Australian Off-Road Championship. This is the second time the series has been enthusiastically welcomed to the Ballon Shire. The 2018 championship is 3 rounds. St George 399, Step 1, and a warm-up for the biggest challenge of the year, the Tatsvik Desert Race, one of the most gruelling events in world motorsport. Then the championship wraps up on the rapid roads of northwest Victoria at the Rainbow Desert Enduro. The number of competitors for this season has swelled dramatically. Matt Martin carries the #1 plate, and an 8-time champ, Shannon Wrench, is back and ready for combat. Let's roll with the prologue, our expert trackside, Greg Rust.
The competitors are telling me this prologue is critical, perhaps even more so than ever. We've got a light breeze here at the moment, but it's not enough to settle the dust out there, and that is a real talking point. Competitors are setting off at 1-minute intervals to tackle an 11k section of the course. And to prevent the fastest guy from the next group catching the slowest from the previous, there is a 4-minute interval between classes. Now, the result of prologue sets the starting order, so a good result here is a major asset heading into the event proper. If prologue is any guide, we're in for a heck of a battle here in St George. The pro buggies were fast, in particular Shannon Wrench and Matt Hansen, and they had margin on the field as well, almost 40 seconds. But it was Matt who came out on top in that battle by almost 5 seconds. Well done.
Yeah, no, thanks very much. We had a great battle with Shannon. We were lucky enough to just get out by 5 seconds. I think it's going to be important given the amount of dust, so to have some fresh air will be great, and can't wait to get back out there for Heat 1.
I'm the local baker here at St George Bakery, and I'm an avid weekend off-road racer, and I've always wanted a racetrack in St George, and we're back here for a second year, so very happy with that one. Oh, it's just been exciting. It's just been an event for town, for these small country towns. We need events to get people to the town. They tell their friends, and their friends come out for a weekend because we've got a fantastic river only a block down from us to go skiing and swimming in there. So it's need more events in country towns to get tourism out here. And I thought an off-road race like this gets national coverage. It's exactly what we need. Oh, St George has been here forever and it always will be, so it's a bit of a hub for our Boulogne Shire. It's the main town in our shire from around the area, but tourist season is starting to roll in now. All the grey nomads come up from down south and then stop at the bakery first spot, get a pie, so place to be.
Nestled alongside the beautiful Boulogne River is St George. A population of under 3,000 people, St George is the heart of the Boulogne Shire, a 31,000 square kilometre slice of southwest Queensland. This year's extended circuit has once again been crafted by local baker Trent Challenger. It now spans over 40 kilometres across shire and private property. The features: narrow tree-lined high-speed runs, tricky jumps and whoops, and thick, blinding dust. The field of 60 cars split in two groups, separated by class. On the start line, issues for Mingay.
We've got a little bit of power but no ignition. Not enough to crank, let's say.
Where's the battery?
Under my seat.
Under your seat.
This dropped the crew down the starting order. After an overnight engine change, father-daughter duo Matt and Kerry Martin were back on track. Drama for the reigning champion. The crew out on lap one with gearbox issues. Dust, as expected, was an issue. Quickest in prologue, Victoria's Matt Hansen. The impressive side-by-side turbo entries lapped up the technical circuit. Leaderboard after lap one, a mix of Jimco buggies and Can-Ams.
This is just one small section of the 41k lap. It's called the Baker's Dozen, and it's something of a tip of the hat to local baker Trent Challenger, who designed this track 12 months ago. They're like motocross whoops, and they're set in front of a spectator area, so it makes for great viewing. The first 10 are set a bit lower and the same distance apart. The final two are taller and ideally need to be taken in one go if you can. Now, if you're not brave enough on the throttle, the cars tend to seesaw across them here, but the good guys seem to be able to make the chassis float across the top while the wheels and suspension on those buggies does all the work underneath. Done right, the Baker's Dozen is a place where you can make up some time.
Let's compare two entries from production four-wheel drive. It's clear why Jeff Pickering is a 12-time Australian champion. The technical, tight roads and dusty conditions suited the side-by-side turbos. The more powerful pro buggies unable to stretch their legs. As a result, Can-Ams filled the top 3 spots at day's end. South Aussie Toby Watley created history with the first ever outright section win for a side-by-side turbo.
There's still another big day of competition to go here, but we've witnessed something very special in the history of the Australian Off-Road Championship. A side-by-side sits on top, and with a minute margin. Toby Watley, well done.
Oh, I never thought this would happen. I'm still taken for words. I don't know what to say. It's, amazing.
There was a couple of scares along the way, I'm told, but it was one that was more a mental shake-up than anything. There's not a drama with the car, is there?
Yeah, the car's good for tomorrow. I think just go over a couple of bolts and that and have a look, and it should be good. But there was a few bumps and that shot us off the track a little bit, but that's all part of the game.
Fastest in the morning and leading the first couple of laps, but you've come in three-wheeling at the end of that first lead. What happened?
We went on a bit of excursion. We got caught behind a trophy truck for pretty much a whole lap. Couldn't see anything and went off into the bushes and probably knocked over 20 trees. And I think we've spiked the tyre there and then rode the last 10k just with a flat on the rear. So it was pretty hairy going through, but I thought that was going to be quicker than stopping and actually changing the tyre.
We're a few seconds off the lead for tomorrow, but anyway, it's a long way to go. We've got only 3 done today and 6 left tomorrow, so we'll just go around and hopefully we can make up that bit of time tomorrow.
Hi, my name's Anthony Jones and I'm driving a Peugeot 207 off-road rally car. 6.5 years ago I was given the opportunity to come to Australia to work. It wasn't particularly planned, so we decided with my wife and kids, yep, we'll take the plunge, we'll go, see if we like it, and we do. Brought my racer with me because I couldn't bear to sell it. And then we just moved to Australia and here we are, 6.5 years later. I believe it's the only one of its kind in Australia racing. It's a fully space-framed, independent suspension. I only have 12 inches of travel, so I can't hit the jumps as hard or as fast as the big boys. But then the twisty, windy little pieces, I can open it up, which is a lower centre of gravity, so that's where my advantage comes in the off-road racing. So it's all completely new to me. I have a navigator, it's Trent, the local baker. So I haven't met him yet, so I'm going to meet him later on today and we'll have a chat and hopefully everything will turn out good tomorrow and over the weekend.
Walsh racer Anthony Jones, a great character, but unfortunately together with local baker Trent Challenger, troubles on day one. A cowling on the rear of the Peugeot caught fire on the very first lap. Front-runner Shannon Wrench stopped to assist and the BF Goodrich team were compensated for their goodwill with a time adjustment at day's end. Unfortunately, the Peugeot was unable to be repaired overnight. The outlook for day 2, sunshine, crisp country air, and for the teams, 300 kilometres of gruelling, dusty conditions. Following lap 3, there's a 20-minute service break for R&R. That's rest and repairs. The big question for day 2, could a side-by-side turbo entry take overall honours for the first time? Can-Ams sat 1, 2 and 3, underpowered and a fraction of the cost of a pro buggy. It was David and Goliath on dirt. 8-time champ Shannon Wrench, the giant, but with 3.5 minutes to make up. The field for day 2 split by day 1 results. The contenders on track together. First to bow out, ex-circuit racer Peter Carr.
Our tail shaft blew and blew the sump, so lost all our oil too. Game over.
Matt Hansen charged through the dust and back through the field after his day 1 puncture. 5th on day 1, Sydney's Josh Howells. Problem on the opening lap of the day.
What is it? Front steering wrap.
Legend of the Fink on 2 wheels, Phil Lovett proved his skill on 4 wheels. Potential podium beckoned. In side-by-side sport, the honeymoon was over for this wife and husband duo.
Clutch has flown apart, so it's all over for us for the weekend. That's racing.
For the BF Goodrich Jimco buggy, it was another day of battling through the dust. Back for the service, the deficit to Toby Watley was out to 4.5 minutes. Before we dive into the service action, check out these wild moments from St George.
Still on top at the midpoint on Sunday and with a buffer with margin heading into the afternoon. What's the play?
Well, look, we had to push a bit then, I think, just to get a bit of clear air, and now we've got the clear air and a bit more gap on second place. So I think the Savo, maybe we'll just try and cruise and hopefully cruise to a finish and a podium.
Yeah, I think we made up a bit of time, but it's just hard in that dust. You can only get sort of so close to a car with visibility. So it's, just a bit of a case of follow the leader at the minute. But we'll just keep circulating around and see where we end up.
There's a problem on the downshift and it's making a bit of noise, so just where that is, we're just unsure, and we'll have to get it home and start getting it ready for Fink, but I don't think we'd get round for another 150k.
Hard luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Service complete, the end in sight, and a thrilling finish loomed. Could the Can-Ams fight off the high-powered buggies? It didn't take Shannon Wrench long to close in on Toby Watley. The South Aussie given a taste of the dust the Wrenches had dealt with all race. In clean air for the first time, the BF Goodrich Pro buggy turned up the heat. He was ahead of Toby Watley on the road, but still had minutes to claw back on the clock. With 1 lap to go, there was nothing in it. Closing kilometres and heartbreak for Watley. Low on fuel, he switched the reserve tank, but the reserve fuel pump wasn't up to the task. Starved of fuel, he was forced to back off. This gave Shannon Wrench the edge. The reigning Fink champ blasted across the line for victory. The Can-Ams put up a brave fight, home for second and third on the podium.
Final day really had it all. Some heartbreak and some real tenacious driving. Shannon Wrench, you've done it, pulled it off. The win in the 399. Well done.
Yeah, no, thank you. It was, definitely a testing weekend. The conditions were pretty tough with the dust and, pretty challenging track. So it was a good start to the championship for us.
I was nervous the whole way around, knowing that Shannon was coming, and then when we got that flat tyre, knowing that we had to make time, and it was just gut-wrenching. But it's okay, we got second place, and second place to 8-time Australian champions, not a bad thing, I suppose, so it's all right.
I think it was a 50-50 thing, and it sort of brought it back to where we are competitive. You've got to get to the finish first, you've got to get to the finish to do any good.
Be nice for you boys to be on the podium. Well done.
Thank you.
Not everyone made it back. Some fell agonisingly short. The overall results after 9 laps and 4 hours of punishment. 2 former motorcycle racers finished 3rd and 5th. For Luke Shadbolt, that was his first off-road race on 4 wheels. Side-by-side turbos remarkably filled 7 spots inside the top 10. Chris Browning, first home in the Pro Light class. A thrilling victory for Shannon and Ian Wrench. Next stop, Alice Springs, in defence of their King of the Desert title. The 2018 Tats Fink Desert Race. Prestigious, historic, mean. Over 700 teams will tackle the NT next month and we'll be there. Check out the website and social pages to learn more about the BF Goodrich Cams Australian Off-Road Championship. Now, before we wrap up, I have to show you this. This sums up off-road racing. Shannon Wrench at full noise, total commitment. Wind up the sound and enjoy. We'll see you next time.